if you have your laptops. If not, that's okay. You can just take notes and follow along. If you have your orientation binder that you got whenever you joined here, this has a bunch of dot loop slides in it. I don't know if this looks familiar to you. You may have looked through it, you may have not. So this is kind of what I'm going to go on. I'm just going to go through these and we'll go through it, and if y'all have other questions, then we'll address those also. So to get to dot loop, the best way, the surefire way to do it is to start from my KW. So this should look familiar to all of you. If not, you'll become super familiar with this because this is where you'll go. So you see my transactions here. You'll just say start e-transactions, and that's going to pop up another screen which will take you directly to dot loop. Yours should be red and black. If not, come see me. We need to make sure, because if it's blue and white, that means that that's what your customers are going to see. So you're not on the right side of things. So yours should look just like this.
Could we turn the lights maybe a little bit so that way we can see better?
I think these are off already, but
Where did you say to go to the start?
How do you go to dotloop from? I'm sorry. One more
that's okay.
step.
So you'll start from IKW.
Okay. Yes.
And then you'll go, you see over here on your control panel, right here under my transactions, you'll say start e-transactions. That's just a surefire way to get to the right place. Some people will just save dot loop on their browser and save their password and go through it that way, but if you go through my KW, that's the best way to do it.
And if we don't have the red and black, if we just have like the blue, is that okay?
So that's gonna be, yours is blue. Are you using the passwords from your password sheet? Or are you going straight from IKW?
I went straight from my KW.
You are? Okay. I'll try to look at yours later because it needs to be red and black.
Okay.
So you're using it basically as a customer instead of as an agent or client. Okay. So we'll just start from the very beginning. So we'll start up here where these are all the icons. So this is dashboard. This basically just shows you, sorry, one second. Okay. So this will show you like total sales. Y'all can look through this later. It's not going to be something that you really use a lot, but it just kind of gives you the stats. This is going to be your loops. So anytime you need to go back to where your loops are, your list of all of them, this is going to take you back there. And if you hover over it, it's going to tell you what it is. See, it says loops underneath. So that'll take you to your loops. This is going to be tasks. So if you click on that, you can actually assign yourself tasks whenever you get buyers, sellers, that kind of thing. So you can assign yourself tasks. You should have, yours might look a little different from mine. This is my old agent one. I think it may have taken some of it off, but you should have pre-made lists of things that you can check off as you go through the process. Right here you can add a task and name it whatever you want to. But yours should have already pre-made lists. So mine looks a little bit different.
So is this like a calendar?
So it's basically, whenever you begin a loop, you can also add tasks for yourself to go through as you go through the buying and selling process. So you'll create a loop and it'll create a task list for you saying like you need to schedule an inspection. You need to make sure they are within their due diligence. They've signed everything. It has a lot of the tasks that you're going to need to get done anyways, so it just kind of helps to keep you organized. That's something that's a little bit advanced, so we can look at it as you need it.
Mine looks like yours.
It does. Okay. Let's see.
Does anybody else's look different? Yours looks like hers?
Mine's black and red.
No, I mean like.
Does it have task lists already made for you?
It looks just like
It
yours.
looks just like that? Okay. I'll have to look at that. Because I know when I was an agent it was a little bit different. We'll keep going and that'll be something that I'll write down can look at later because you may have to make your own, but I'm pretty positive they have pre-made ones. But okay, so we'll just keep going. So just know that it's there and you can either create your own, but I'm pretty sure there's pre-made ones. I might need to look at it and see there's a different way to do it. You may have to be in a loop to be able to do that. This might be just a place that you add. Okay, so moving on then, this is people. Looks like a little person. This is where you can add service providers right here. So if you have your personal, we have preferred vendors in the office, but as you go through the process, you probably are going to find vendors that you like, and you can add them here if you would like. Then also contacts. So this is kind of the important part. This is where you're going to add your clients. So whenever you start to work with someone, you can add their contact information here. You click on add person, and then this is going to be all of their information. So you can fill in all the information that you want to, all the information that you have. You can go ahead and do that before you start your loop. So that way they're already in there. So whenever you need to input, like they need to sign here, their information is already there for you.
And
There's
just
another
a link
place
to
you can
when
do that.
we've already input it for Matrix, we have to re-input it for this,
No,
Yes.
no.
or the client
Matrix
portal,
doesn't
whatever.
download to this.
So
Well,
there's no
when-
link to, so
For
you
the
have,
what?
you have to input it twice.
FMLS doesn't do an auto download.
Oh well, maybe George MLS, because I had one that I did a closing a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just looking at my contacts, and I did not add this lady, this
You-
agent, and it's in here with all the information, and I did not add it personally, so it has to come up somewhere because I did not add it up.
Just know that this is probably the best way to do it. You can also do it in another place in dotloop, like whenever you create a loop, you can add a person to that specific loop. You don't have to do it here. This is just a way that you can go ahead and add them before you even begin a loop.
It was only George
So-
MLS, it was not recommended, so that's probably why.
Just as a habit, I would put them in dotloop and not trust George MLS or
Right.
MLS. I've never seen that done, so I'm not positive about that. But this is a definite way to get them in your dotloop system, which they're gonna need to be in here anyways. So that's that. Do you have any other questions about that? That's a way that you can delete them if you need to. You just click on the three bubbles beside their name and you can delete them.
Trusted service providers you can add, I mean, for instance, mortgage, if they have a lender that they're already working with,
Sure.
then you just add an extra one. I see Matt's got his photo here.
Yeah, and Brandy too.
Yeah, those are automatically added to y'all's, because they're like our super preferred vendors, they're in the office and stuff, so they're a little different than just our vendor program. But this is probably gonna be more like people that you would recommend or people that you're gonna work with, for sure later, that kind of thing.
So we can share this information with our clients from
Mhm.
here?
Right.
Okay, that's a great idea.
So, yeah, that's just something that's good to know that's there, so if you end up working with someone more than one time, it's gonna be good that you could just go ahead and have their information here. Anything else? Okay, so the next one is gonna be templates, that's what this is. This is where you're gonna be able to access your GAR forms, checklists, different things like that, so actually, let's see. Okay. Sorry. Alright, so documents. So this is gonna be where you're gonna find, I don't know, has anyone worked with these forms yet?
A little bit,
A little bit? Okay. So if you need to just print out a form or if you need to just look at one or whatever, this is a way to easily go do that, not within someone's loop. So if you need to look at, for example, person sale agreement is the first one on my tab, so you can click on it, it'll take you straight to it. You have to be a member of a board. If you're not a member of a board, do that as soon as possible because that's how you're gonna access these forms and this is how you maintain your business. You're gonna need these. So this is a way to look at those, just so you know. So these are templates, that's right here. So you'll become more familiar with them as you grow your business, but I would, in your, spare time where you're watching TV, whatever, go through, click on them, look at them, become familiar with them, because you're gonna need to know what they say.
So how would you go about, can you back up to where you first?
You click right here on templates, you see these, all of these
Yeah,
icons at the
I
top?
got that. I'm on where it says select all. So when I opened up forms, GAR forms.
This one?
Mm-hmm. KWAP logo GAR forms.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are gonna be your, the ones that you're probably gonna use a lot. Also, that's gonna be the one that you use the most.
Right. So
So
I
it's gonna have,
when you open it up to this point, then how do you select and
so this is
print
just,
that?
we'll go inside a loop, and that's gonna be the easiest way for you to, like, if you're using it for a client. So this way you can click on it and look at the document or print it out if you need to, like a blank one. You can also, I believe,
So do you add it to the loop from here?
I wouldn't, but you
Okay.
can. So you can click on it and say copy to,
Mhm.
and then, copy as a dotloop document or copy as a flat PDF,
Okay.
not editable. So just know that this is here. Like, if you need to look at one, this is the easiest way to pull it up, like just
Okay.
straight from dotloop. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to the loops, because I know that's probably what
So,
y'all are
well,
more wanting to do.
when you select it, do you have to put the little check in the box? I mean, I'm saying how
Just
you,
to open one up?
to open it up, yeah.
No, just click on the name.
It's not allowing me to do that.
Click X. Click on Gar Farms. Now just click on the name. There you go.
Outstanding. What did I do wrong?
I think you,
What
I'm
is
not
it?
sure.
Alright.
Honestly, I'm not sure how you got that box. You must have just clicked something different, but it's okay. Any other questions about that? Don't worry yourself a lot. This is just more just so you can look at the
Familiarize
form.
yourself.
Sure.
I was just gonna say with the templates, you can also add a template to it. Like yesterday, it was a buyer, basically like a buyer needs in one sheet that I'll probably be using often for buyers. You can add a template and save it so it comes up like these do, so you can send it out each time to whoever you need to send it to.
You already put your information in there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to the bubbles and download?
No, from where I was, when I was like editing it, it has an option to add a template.
Gotcha. Were you
Okay.
inside of a loop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's a little bit different once you get inside. So just know that this is here for you. Don't worry too much about it. So we're actually gonna go into a loop, so that you know how to do that. So let me make sure. Okay, also, so go back to loops, the smiley face. So these are all of your loops. So you can have it in grid view, which looks like this. And you can also have it in list view. You change that right here. So just know that that's there. So if you get into the opposite and you need to go back, this is how you do that. This just switches it. You're gonna wanna be in list view most of the time, but if you like the bubbles, that's how you do it. The reason why you need to be in list is because it has the search bar right here, so you can search for your loop. Once you have like several, you're gonna wanna use search. So it's gonna come in handy instead of just a bunch of big bubbles that you don't know where it is. So you're probably gonna utilize this more. So just be aware that you can do that. You can also sort by different things. This has default. You can sort it by the address. You can sort by last updated, so on and so forth, so that you can find them easier or whatever your preference is. So just know that that is also there. You also have an activity log, which you're gonna be submitting your loops to Lori and Bonnie so that they can make sure everything's right, so you don't get any fines or anything. So this is gonna show you, if you click on activity log, it's gonna show you what all you've sent to them. Bless you.
Bless you.
What all you've sent to them. Mine's not really loading right now, but if they tell you you need to fix something, whatever, that's gonna be there. And mine obviously isn't really working right now, so. Refresh. Okay, there we go. any notifications, this little flag is gonna be orange, and it'll tell you like if someone signed something. So if you click on it, it'll tell you whatever it wants to tell you. Mine doesn't have anything right now. So any questions about those? Okay. Awesome. So now, to create a loop, if you're in grid view, you hit the big giant plus sign, staring you in the face. Then if you're in list view, you click on create a loop. So we're gonna create a pretend loop. So we'll just create loop. Is everybody there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I go too fast or say something you don't understand, just stop me. So I'm gonna name it 123 Rachel Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, 33442. So what you're gonna do most of the time is name your loop either the address, or if it's a buyer and you obviously don't have an address yet, you're gonna name it the buyer's name. But then once you have an address, once you go under contract with something, change it to the address name. That's the easiest way to look up something because the address doesn't change. Names can be put in differently, spelled wrong, things like that. So that's what you're gonna typically do. Then you're gonna select a template. So these are gonna be the ones that you use usually. So you have buyer, buying, you have someone selling, listing their house, you do listing.
I don't have those.
Huh, I don't know.
I have staff use only.
Yeah, what?
KWAP agent intake, staff use only, KWAP agent exit.
Me too.
Wait. Oh.
Does everyone's look like that?
Yes.
It should.
Yeah, the top three are gone. They're not there. It's only the bottom two that are that they show. Do you have to create something else?
No, it shouldn't. These are obviously something that I would use, like staff. Y'all need the rest of these two.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
Have you? Let's see. It probably has to do with however your accounts were set up. You should have your. Whenever you were looking at the forms, did you have the GAR forms?
Mm-hmm.
You did? That's really weird. Well, I'll have to look at y'all's accounts and see if like your, I don't know, your settings aren't set up right or something, because you should have these, because you need to be able to click on them to create the loop. Have y'all created loops before?
Yes.
I have, but
did.
I don't have those either.
Yeah, I did too, and I don't have it
Yeah,
either.
I've created loops and I don't have those either.
So do you just not select a template?
I don't.
You don't select a template at all? Does this stuff come up?
Yes, I have that.
What are you in now? You're in people?
I
just
just
open
created
the-
a loop and I
Oh.
selected the template and then said, so y'all just don't select a template and just say create and see,
Mhm.
does it, and it creates?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So does it look like this? Has an
Yeah, the
address,
documents to
Mm.
add, yes.
documents, what's the first thing that it says right here?
Let me see.
Whatever.
Templates, browse, and then to me it's the documents that give me a choice to do either template, browse, or email, and I browse documents from whatever.
Sorry, let me
I
have
have
it
it.
here.
Mine
so it's
says Rawls Group agent exit interview form, Atlanta Board of Realtors transfer form.
That's what I have. So this is the loop that I create.
You
and
guys
I download
telling me
these
something?
documents. I browse because I have them somewhere else.
Oh wait, that's
I
right,
mean, I
those
uploaded
are
them.
documents and then there's
Okay.
Mine was
Let me see.
That's for documents, but then if I come down
Mm-hmm.
tasks,
Right. Well, I have to look into that, cause that's just how y'all's were set up. So this is actually my agent one when I was at Peachtree Road. So it should look like y'all's. That's why I'm using that one instead of mine now, because mine will have this stuff, which y'all don't need. Like the agent intake, that's something that I do. So it still does the same thing. You'll just have to add, like, so, so the reason why you want that is because whenever you're doing buying or selling, it'll already have these folders. So this is what you need whenever you're, have a buyer or listing. So you're gonna need these headings. It just helps you stay organized so you don't have to create them by yourself. You can create them. So it's not like you can't use it. Do what?
Can you click on those so you can, since I
I
can't
haven't
get
seen,
into
I
it on
haven't
my
seen that in
computer?
mine either.
Yeah.
It says under mine,
Does yours have
select
that?
transaction
I haven't
type.
seen that in mine.
Like the
either.
residential
My
buying
plan
documents,
on it.
what's in there?
So nothing is in here yet. This is just a folder that you're gonna keep your residential buying documents as you have a buyer. Like your binding sponsorship agreement.
No, what you did is you created Rachel Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. You just created, and that came up automatically. It says documents. That came up automatically.
So in whenever mine had 3 more than yours, so y'all's had the 2 staff only. Mine had withdrawal, so which you hopefully won't
So
have to
and
use.
that's what that is. Cause if you, that's in the other ones above it. So
Right. So when you have a buyer or a listing, you click on the corresponding one, and then it automatically creates these folders for you,
yeah, that's
so that it's already in there. So I'm gonna have to find out from another director of agent services how they set theirs up, because that's how mine was set up, and I'll have to find out why y'all's aren't that way, because that's gonna really help you.
so if
But
you use
you
the
can
GAR
still
documents,
use dotloop.
you use the GAR documents and you fill something out.
Mhm.
Say you want to send it. You don't remember me? We talked about. You and I were going to send some. I was going to create a document. We were going to send it to somebody. And I couldn't because multiple people use the same email. You made me create a loop one time.
Okay.
And anyway, we never went much further than that. But I'm saying if I'd taken that loop, how would I want to get those documents into that loop, right?
Right.
On the
We're
GAR
gonna go
forms.
over that. We're gonna do it in just a
Okay.
second. What did you say?
Mine,
Okay.
see, mine
Yeah.
says select transaction type or view details.
Yeah. So you can select, and
Transaction.
then you can say what kind of transaction it is.
Okay.
So don't let it worry you. You can still use dotloop just the same. It's just gonna help you stay organized without having to, create these folders. So the way that you would do it, so y'all's is blank or has like whatever it has in there. You can add a folder, say add folder, and then it's gonna create a new folder for you. So you can say residential and then click out of it and it's made. So then within each folder, these are the folders that are in the red and bold. And then you can add document beside it, or it already has these here for you because you just created that, but if you wanted to add document into this section, it does the same thing. So if you're looking to do a binding sponsorship, you're gonna click on templates. You're gonna go into your GAR forms and go to exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. You're gonna say copy, which basically means open, because it's gonna copy it to your loop, but it's just gonna open it so that you can go ahead and say okay,
Where'd you go?
and there it is. It's fine, I'll do it again. So you're gonna say add document, templates, there, then your GAR forms.
Wait, I don't, templates, okay, sorry.
No, it's fine. Do you need me to go back?
Then where did
Templates
you
right
go?
here,
Templates, and then where?
and then on the side you have all of your headings.
Yes.
So it should say KWPR logo GAR forms. Do you have that one?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So you click there, that's gonna have all of your GAR forms. And if you,
that's double clicking templates, right?
when you're out here, yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I
templates.
lost it, had to get back to it, so I was paying attention for a minute there.
Mhm. Are we out here to this point? No? Copy there. So then you'll click on KW, well yours should say KWAP, logo guard forms. So instead of PR it should say KWAP.
What about, I've got one that says KWAP, just forms, is that something different? Doesn't have guard, missing guard.
It should say, do you have one that says guard forms?
I got both, is what I'm saying, I got.
Do the guard forms. So click there. Do you have a bunch of documents come up on the side?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Just so you know, you can search through these. Up here you have a search bar. So you can search there. So we're looking for buyer brokerage, or if you were doing purchase and sale agreement, you have that there as well.
Is
Did
there
you
like
say-
an alphabetical, I guess not.
No,
trying to find
they're
it.
kind of really random. That's why the search bar is kind of handy. So that way.
So did you put in for the exclusive buyer?
So if you start to type exclusive, they start to come up.
Alright.
So you'll click the check mark on the one that you want and say copy. And that's gonna add it to your loop. And it will come up right here in black.
So is that box right there, that's kinda, is that the loop? Is that considered your loop? Where it starts?
This whole thing is your loop.
Yeah, where it says documents, see that box that's around that? It has template, all that stuff's in the center of the box. So is this kind of the loop? You're starting the loop out?
This whole page is your loop. You're in it, this whole thing.
Okay.
So part of a loop, we'll go ahead and do this actually, I should have done this first. So you have 3 parts to a loop. You have documents, and if you scroll down, you'll have people,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll have tasks.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where my task lists are, which I need to find out about y'all's. So we just kind of went out of order a little bit, but that's how you add something from templates. We'll go ahead and do this part, and then I'll show you how to add the people. You should really do the people first. Sorry, I did that out of order. So we'll go ahead and do this if we were on here. So if you need to add a document that was like emailed to you, or if you have it on paper and you scan it and email it to yourself, you need to upload it to your loop. You do it through browse. So you click there. Hello? Okay. So if you're on a Mac or PC, this is a Mac, so this is how mine looks. But if you're on a PC, you still do essentially the same thing. It's gonna pop up your Windows folder. So if I'm wanting to add So, for example, this is a survey that I wanted to add. If I wanted to add it into this folder, you would click on it, you would say open, or I'm not sure what PC says, maybe it says open. And then it will automatically add it to it. It
How do
needs
we
to
get
be
back to this page? I can't even find it now.
I know the feeling. When you create a loop, you can have different files for different clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're on your loop. So you just click on whatever loop you were working with, so that's probably .box. And there's your loop. So now,
But then you were on, I was looking for browse. How did you get to the
you say
template?
add document, and that'll bring up those 3 boxes. There you go. Did you have a question?
I remember looking at something. I created this loop a long time ago. It's my name. But I'm trying to find out how you can add folder. Each loop, you don't have to create a different loop for every time you get a client. You can put it in this loop and then
No,
a different
you
folder.
have a new loop for each person.
And you can't erase it, right?
They can be archived.
Archive.
So everything stays for 7
Boy.
years.
Good. Watch what you say in your notes, everybody.
Well, it's
Wait till
different.
we get it,
It's
so
not.
we look at it.
It's not erased. It's archived. It's different.
So you can't delete anything once you open that,
Everything
once that
on
loop is
top-
there, that loop is there?
Right.
Okay.
Well, it can be archived. So it basically
but
goes
you have to
away on
save it.
yours, but in dotloop they keep everything for 7 years, which is a good thing. But you can make it go off of yours. So for example, if I wanted to delete this survey, if it was the wrong one or whatever, I can click on the 3 bubbles, and this is how you can do things within. You can open it, you can rename it if you want to name it something different. So you just click on rename, and it pops it up for you. So you can do whatever you want to. You can also make a copy of it, which I don't really know why you need to do that, but if you need to, you can. You can print it, you can download it, you can archive it. So you click archive, and it goes away.
And it's there for how long?
7 years.
7 years.
But it goes off of yours, so you don't have to look at it anymore.
Okay.
So it really doesn't affect
Just be
you.
careful when you're in there making those loops.
I mean, don't do anything weird, but it's fine. It's not like it's gonna.
So this one that we were just playing with creating, now that's gonna be in there for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not in a.
all kind of stuff too.
Just send up
Just
Because
messing with
whenever
it,
it's
cause
fine.
I've played around with it, and
Which is
I know I
fine.
have some in there that I've just been playing around and
It's
messing
fine. It's not a big deal
Okay.
at all. Don't let it scare you. They keep things because sometimes in real estate you have to go back to something that you worked on a long time
Statute
ago.
of limitations is 7 years in documents.
It's a good thing. Do what?
Statute of limitations is 7 years in documents.
Gotcha. So yeah. So here you can show archive if
So
you
they can sue you.
archive something that you didn't need to. You can go back to it. So okay, where were we? So we were browsing, looking at things, putting them here. Do you have questions about that? Does everybody understand that process?
Mhm.
Good, good, awesome.
I added
Y'all
the
are making
document.
great progress. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I think this would be awesome if someone had one that needed to be created and we could actually go through and create it. I'm having a hard time following because I've never done it.
Right, right. So the more, at least you're seeing how it's done, so
Yeah.
that way whenever you need to do it, so I completely understand. I went to a dotloop class before I knew anything about real estate. So
Yeah.
it'll make more sense. You're gonna have way more questions as you go through, and that's what we're here for. So this is more just basics, so you know what things are and basically how to find them. And once you get into the more detail, come and ask us, and we'll move forward. Does that make sense? Because I know you don't, at the very beginning, you don't know what to ask. I get it. I totally get it. So just, you basically know these are where you find your GAR forms. These are where you've made all of the pre-made forms that are already made for you. Browse, this is how you get things off of your computer.
And if you're used to do the from FMLS, so I do all the documents in there, and then I put them all in the dotloop, because I was used to, and I didn't know much about this.
Yeah.
So I did all of them in FMLS. I keep my documents, and then I transferred everything, just browse, and everything was in. So that way
It's easier if you do it this way.
you do. That's why I say I did it before I
Yeah.
knew anything. So
Yeah. So this is gonna make your life way easier. We'll go through an actual document in just a second. The first thing when you create a loop, like I said, we kind of did this out of order. The first thing you're gonna want to do is gonna want to add your clients here. So you go under the people. So you scroll down. This is what you see first, and you scroll below documents, and then you have people. So you're gonna want to add your clients here. So you say add person. Is everybody there?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So you're going to want to add their name. So I'm going to say Simon. Then don't click add to my team ever, because then they're going to see what you're doing. You don't want your clients to see everything. It's too much information. Then you're going to add their email. And then you're going to put their role. I'm going to say buyer. And this is all going to be information that you have for them, so this is going to be the easy part. You're already going to have all of this, so you're just going to put it in. And you can put in this information if you have it. If you don't, it's okay. The main thing that you need is their name and their email address. Make sure you have that. And then you say add person. Is everybody there?
Mm-hmm.
You say add person, so now Bob Feynman, this fictitious person, has been added to my loop. And you see him here. And you see him listed as buyer. And if you have more than one, you'll add another one. Because sometimes husband and wife, whoever.
Are you adding just clients, or are you adding anybody? If
You can add
you're not adding people that, well, I might call county commissioner, you're adding people that might be your client, that might have a listing with us, who you're adding?
Well,
I mean, it's not like MailChimp is what I'm getting at, something like that, right?
you're gonna add people that you're working with. You're not gonna make a loop unless you have a
Yeah.
client.
That you might be sharing documents with and stuff like that,
Right.
Is this instead of, I'm confused, cause I had the printed out forms, is this instead of printing out the forms?
Yes.
But you can still print out the forms and do it.
You can, this is better. But you need to get used to doing it this way. This way it's
This
It's
way
like
they
a
can,
loop,
they can
so
e-sign.
basically it's easier
This
because
way
when
they
you
can
print out the
e-sign.
paper form, then
Right.
you gotta
Do it
mail it or you gotta
virtually.
take it
Yeah,
to
Yeah,
like
them.
you just had your buyer meeting, if they sign, were you gonna have them,
If they would've signed
Probably have
in
to
the
scan
room,
it.
then I would've scanned it into dotloop.
right.
Still.
You can do it that way. It's not that you can't, this is just a better way. Less paper, less moving around. This way it's on here and dotloop. You can, like, if you're sending someone home with a form, or if you're sending someone a form on email, you can see if they viewed it, you can see if they've signed it, you can see if they've partially signed it. It's just very easy to see exactly what's happening, and it's a lot clearer than someone hand signing or handwriting
And
something.
quicker, cause like last night I emailed them the buyer wants and needs analysis. So I emailed it to her yesterday morning through dotloop. So she sent it back to me last night, so I was able to go through and see what she had to have, like have to have hardwood floors, have to have a garage. And it tells you you'll receive an email that says, whatever you have them listed as, has signed a document or has completed the following document. And then you just
so
open
that
it up.
form, so that's in here too, so this is just like an email loop with.
It's an online paperwork system, is one way of looking
Rachel,
at it.
can't you also
Okay.
take, is this the one that you, if you fill out a form and you keep it in the same file that you can, if you put somebody's name, that address and all that stuff, will come back, I don't know if that's multiple
No,
listing
no, I
service,
just
not
had
punching
one
something and
In
those
the
address
office,
up there,
I
you
had
have to
the
like
paper form,
retype
they
it
didn't
on
sign
the next
But
document.
if
It
they
will
would've signed
autofill,
it,
so
I would've
it's
Autofill.
put it
free.
into dotloop.
You can't do that on
He
this,
tried
right?
sending these.
Do what?
You can do that on
I
this one
have
too?
had one
Yes.
signed in dotloop.
Okay.
Wanna see it?
So this is gonna, the more transactions that you have, this is gonna be, it's gonna be a lot easier to do it this way than to do it paper.
Okay.
So, I don't have one do it through
So-
dotloop, so she did hers through dotloop.
Do you have any other questions about that
So
part?
this is the agreement.
Mine still
Let me
says
go
Elise
back out
Cruz, how do we
first.
change that?
It still says Elise Cruz.
You see right here,
Oh.
it says signed. Before she
Yeah, we all
signs
got
it,
that.
when I send it off, it'll say
Trust me, I
waiting
feel
to
your
be
pain.
signed.
It's been a long
And then
process
once
trying
they
to get all
sign
of
it,
her
you'll get an email telling
stamps
you
off
that you
everything,
signed
so
it.
yeah, I'll have to see if there's a way to go
Okay.
ahead and do that.
She's just kidding. That's all this is it, with all that information.
This is
So
archive.
yes. So if we were going in to do a buyer brokerage agreement with Bob Feynman,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna click on exclusive buyer brokerage agreement, and this is gonna pop up. So you're gonna be the buying agent, so you'll click on your name there. Your buyer, one, is gonna be your client, and if you have more than one, you can put in the second person there.
Can you go back, I'm sorry.
And it's
So
fine.
you went to exclusive buyer brokerage agreement, you clicked it, and then what'd you hit?
Nothing. This should be the first thing that pops up. Have you added a person?
Yeah.
Does this autofill box pop up?
When I click on exclusive buyer brokerage agreement?
Right.
No.
It's okay.
I got it.
Perfect. Sorry. No, it's fine.
I
It's
didn't
fine.
click on it, I checked it.
Yeah. you'll do that several times before you realize you have to actually click on it. So the more that you play with it, the faster you'll get at it, and the more you'll know what you're doing. At the beginning, you're kind of just going blind. So try not to get frustrated. I know it's a lot of details, but majority of things, if you do it wrong, it can be fixed. So there's very few things that cannot be fixed at all. So use your brain, use your heart. We'll work through it together. So buyer 1's gonna be your client, buyer 2 will also be your client, or you can just leave it blank if you don't have one. Buying agent is obviously gonna be you. So then you just fill out all of the information that you know. Sale commission rate, we all know what that is, right?
Can you put the information in so it'll
Mm-hmm.
populate?
Well, this is gonna be different every time.
Oh, okay.
What'd you say?
No, I'm saying, but will it, like you
So
put
you're-
Bob Fineman in, so once you go ahead to do the loop,
Right.
it'll
That's
populate
exactly
in
why
your
you
slide.
do this autofill part, so that way it fills in the spots for you, where it goes. That's why the first part, the roles part, that's the most important, because it's gonna tell them where they need to sign, where you need to sign,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. So commission rate, 3%, unless you want to be bold and go for like 8. The name, Bob Fineman's already added, because we already added him. Whenever we were adding the person, I only added name and email, but if I would have added his name, his email, his phone number, his address, all of those things, they would be here. So this is if you want to add more information, you can. I just am not filling it out right now. So you click on each thing, and you can tab through and fill in their information, like so. Any questions about that part?
Go back. Before you get up, yeah. How do you get to the autofill? Clicking on what? What were you clicking?
So in the first screen, you'll click on exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. Right here.
What is a listing?
That's fine, yeah, it's the same thing.
I'm trying to use the one that I have, so
So is this one you've been in already?
yes.
Okay, that's why it's not coming up.
Oh,
So
okay.
you've
Never
probably
mind.
already done that part.
Oh, okay.
Or
Because I don't remember doing that 3% or anything, and I
is
have.
this one that you uploaded?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
So that's a PDF, and that
Right. It doesn't transfer
is
to that.
yeah.
Okay.
So
thank you.
PDF is just going to be just like a picture, and if you need to upload a PDF and put signature boxes and things like that, I'll show you how to do it. But if you're uploading something, it's not going to do this autofill part because it's going to be like a picture, so it doesn't know. It's like blank. If that makes sense. So this is if you use the GAR forms within dotloop. So autofill will pop up. You fill in their information. Is everybody here?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You click autofill. So that should pop up, showing you that it's automatically already put things in there for you. Then here is your form. So the things that you have filled in already should already be filled in. If you scroll through, you'll be able to see everything on here if it'll load. See, we put in 3%, so it already automatically put it in there for me. And so on and so forth. So what you're gonna do from here is each loop and each box you're gonna have to assign to your client. This is where it can be kind of tedious, and you have to go through it kind of with a fine tooth comb and make sure it's all filled in. So you're gonna fill in this part probably. So we'll just say today, but you're not gonna assign that to anyone because you don't want them to be able to change it. If you assign it to anyone, assign it to you. So whenever you click on a box, this is where you assign it to someone. You go over here and it says assign to no one, or it's assigned to Bob, me, or admin. You can also change the role of something, like if you just know you can do that, you can change that here. You can also add a person here, but I don't recommend that. So you can fill that in and not assign it to anyone, and it won't change. So things that you want your buyer to do, you're gonna fill this in. This is just form stuff, but you're probably gonna fill most of this one in on the purchase and sale agreement. There will be a little bit more for them to do. You'll fill all of that in. But say, for example, if you wanted, you wouldn't, but if you wanted them to be able to type in here, you go to assign and you'll assign it to your client, and that way it will be assigned to them. See, it has a X sign. I can't do anything there because that's his field. That makes sense.
So sort of highlight it for them on their end so they know exactly where to go to.
Right. So anything you assign to them and they go into the loop, it's gonna be like sign here, fill this in, that kind of thing, as they go through it. So do you remember whenever you signed as an agent when you came on and you got the paperwork and you filled all of that out on dotloop? Did you do it on dotloop? You did? So it's gonna be the exact same thing for your client. It'll go through, you'll go through it, they'll go through it, and it'll show them where to sign.
And things that are like your broker, Keller Williams, I don't know if you have to put Lynn in there by name, but the information that's gonna be relevant to you filling out one of these contracts, is that something that can be permanently set in each, or do you have to do that every time?
You have to do it every time. Cause each contract's different, so you have to do it every time. You'll get faster at it the more you do it. And you'll right now you look at this and you're like, this looks like Chinese, because you don't know what it says, you don't know what it means.
Does
So
it
I
auto
encourage
save?
you, do what?
Does it auto save or do you have to?
Each loop is gonna come up just like this.
My broker information.
No, I mean to save it
right there,
though.
but like all the other
Is it automatically saved?
things
That's
you
what
have
Do
to
I?
type in.
Is this auto saved?
That's what I was asking, if
Within
you
this
get
loop
typed
for
in.
this person, yeah, you'll click save here.
So if I don't hit it, like now, if I don't hit it, this won't be saved?
No,
Your
you have to save things. I would also encourage you to save them as you go through.
Keller Williams perimeter.
Just like if it's this wouldn't take very long to do, but if you're doing a really long contract or something, I would just save it as you go through just to make sure. It does, like every couple minutes, does it save? No, it doesn't. So be sure that you save your work, because you'll be frustrated. You only do it once. If you assign something wrong, just go back up and assign it to whoever you want to. You can change it however many times you want to do it. So you keep going down. You'll check all of these.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Sarah? So let's say I go through this, I fill it out, I send it to my buyer, and then I realize I made a mistake. Does it like call it back? Or do they always have the original one that has the mistake on it?
So if they open it and it has the mistake on it, they can still open it and they'll still be able to see it. But if you go in and change something, you can reshare it with them and then it'll update. So they'll the only way they wouldn't get the updated one is if they have the original messed up one open and they haven't exited out. Like you can update on here.
So you don't have to archive it and start a new one, you can actually edit it and send it back to them.
Right. It doesn't make a whole new document, you just edit the one that you have and reshare it with them.
But if once they open the original one, they always have that original one.
No. If they exit out of it and re-go into it from
Okay.
your email, it'll be updated.
Okay, thank you.
This is the last page, which is usually where people actually have to do stuff. So here,
So you would assign Bob right there, right?
right here, Bob is automatically assigned
Okay.
to sign here because of the information that we put in the very
Okay.
beginning, the autofill. So this is where this part really comes in handy. So you'll probably fill in this for him because this is his name. But I would go ahead and assign it to him in case he wanted to change it. Date, you'll assign to him. Address, you'll assign to him. This is all of their information, so you'll just go through and assign all of those to him.
Had you assigned more than one buyer, Bob and
Right.
Sarah,
So this,
then Sarah would populate in that one.
that's right.
Uh-huh.
I didn't put Angelina Jolie in there, so she would have gone here, and it would have said Angelina sign here.
You
So
can
that's
send,
what-
you can get two signatures on one email?
No. buyer, so it had autofill and it had buyer 1, buyer 2, name and email.
Okay, so you have to send, that's two separate emails, 1 and 2 is two separate emails.
Right.
No, does it has the choice like the FMLS that you send it to every one of them at once? I mean, you send the one, and then when one sign goes to the other one, and then when another one. Does this have the choice?
No, it's all separate. Like one's not dependent on the other.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whenever you, so if I had added, hold on. So I'll say my buyer. So if you get in here, forget to add Angelina, that's how you do it. I'll go back and show you. So here, buyer sign here, and you go to where you assign, and you can add. Click there. And then add email.
You have her, how does she know she's buyer 1 or 2? How do they know which go 1 and 2? You got Bob
Right there.
1, and then how would you know?
It doesn't matter to them which one they are. They'll get their right email.
Alright, so it kind of does it itself, is what you're saying, pretty much.
What if it's a husband and wife and they share an email address? Does that matter?
They have to, like, within dotloop, they each have to have a separate email.
So if they don't, then we have to do it manually on paper.
Usually people have email addresses. If not, tell them to just make one just for this. Or, I mean, you can sign it manually, but it takes 5 seconds to make an email. They're buying a house.
Because then you
No,
can
that's
get
right,
into.
so that's
make an email.
right.
Because you can get into, oh, my husband signed and I didn't know he signed,
Yeah,
and you want to
it's-
avoid all of that.
I'm just saying, because I actually have a friend, they share an email address.
Right. And a lot of,
Well, I
I
hope
don't know
not.
that a lot,
Yeah,
but
a lot.
several people that happens to, just tell them, like, this is really important.
Second
You're gonna
one.
want to have it on record. So just, it takes 5 seconds. I can make your email for you if they have an issue with it, you know?
That's true.
So it's just, that's just the way dotloop works. So you put in that, well, apparently I have 24 emails. So if you add a person here, there she is, and then you'll add her in to here. Just like we did for Bob. So then you'll fill in your information here. This is gonna be our information, the offices, our office code, license number. You'll have all those things. You'll start to memorize them as you do this. So then you're gonna wanna save and share. So you filled it all out, you double checked it, you made sure that everything is done. So what you'll do is you'll say save and share. Like I was saying, you should save it as you go through, so then it would just say share. You click share, and this allows you to send it to both of them. And it both says can sign. You're gonna wanna change that to
Fill and sign.
fill and sign.
Do you have to share it to get the names on the document?
What do you mean?
I added the second buyer name, and then I went back and tried to pull down the buyer agreement, and it didn't have either one of them on it.
Did you save it?
I think I did. Saved under people. So it's saved as
Did you
buyer.
save your form though when you were on it?
Maybe not. So what do you have to do to hit perform?
To what?
How do you have to hit, what do you press to get perform?
No, the form,
Is that form?
not perform.
Okay.
You just click
So
on.
you click on the form, alright. Do I have to hit share?
No, just click on the form. So you'll stay in it. Let's see. Did you add someone to already? Okay.
And the second buyer, and it wasn't
Okay.
showing up.
Okay. Now.
See?
Let's see.
Maybe some I didn't do.
should have popped up automatically, and you added them. Did you already do that part? You did
I
this
added
part.
hers, I heard, yeah, I had him, then I added her.
Okay. And then you're gonna say autofill. Did you click autofill?
No,
That's fine.
that's-
There you go. So now we're a little over 2:00, but this actually just you can sign, I believe, because I don't think you want to do this. No, yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. So you'll change that to that, so that way that they can fill in the blanks they need to fill in and sign. You can also add a message here, so whenever your email sends to them, you can say, hey, this is our agreement, sign anything, if you have questions, let me know. Just a little message, or you don't have to fill anything at all, whatever you want to do. So then you'll say share, and then that will send to each of them. So I'll just go ahead and share it, there are my email addresses, and then you'll say done. So then I will go to,
And when you share it, it goes to both of the clients, and then it comes to the office as well, correct? Because it said Administrator Keller Williams was on there, was added as a person.
I don't think it was on to share it. I think whenever it shared, it only had,
Oh, okay.
let's see, hold on. Yeah, actually it does.
Or is there any way that you can?
So that, I mean, it does share with Keller Williams also. So that's, I can access them. So yes, it does. We can access all of your loops.
Right.
So, let me go in here. And we can look at what they're gonna see. I actually need it. Rachel needs you to sign the document. So this is what it's gonna look like. Someone's asked for you to sign the loop. You say view document, and then it will populate. It may do something weird since I'm already signed in. So this is how it's gonna look for them. It's gonna be blue and white. And so it has everything that you have on there for them, and they're gonna click start signing, and it's gonna show them where to go. Down at the bottom, it'll say Bob, click here. Just so you know with dotloop, if you fill in anything after you've already signed it, it's gonna basically negate that signature and you'll have to sign again. Anything that you edit within the document, you have to sign it last. So that applies to you too. So if you have to sign at the bottom of a purchase and sale agreement and you edit something, just make sure you go back and re-sign it at the bottom. So, it should notify you, but just in case, just be aware of that. Here, make sure we kind of went over everything. Do y'all have any questions? I mean, I'm sure you probably.
Can you show, you said you can add the PDF into there, and you can transfer it
Yes.
over into?
Yes, I'm glad you said that. Yes. So, I'm gonna go back. Okay. So, I'm going to add a document, browse. This is going to be, let's see, So I added a PDF. It will click.
What was the green?
Where?
You said when you were searching for the document.
That's just on my Mac. You'll probably have it too, but like if you're searching for something, you can label them. Like I just have stuff.
I called it.
This is just on my computer. It might not be on yours. That's just how I.
No, it might be. I was just. That's another conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, we can look at it. It's an easy way to keep everything organized. everything I had, I labeled it green. But so okay. So if you click on the PDF, so this is a letter, and if I needed, for example, someone to sign, or if I wanted to, so actually this is something that I did. You see this exhibit D right here?
Push.
I added that because I added this to a contract. So you'll go to add anytime you need to add something. So it shows you exactly what you can do. Signature, initials, if you need someone to initial somewhere, text, which is basically what I did for that exhibit, date, name, checkbox, radio button, which is weird, strike through. So if you want to add any text, you click there and pull it down, and there it is, and you can put it
Okay.
wherever you want to. So you'll click there, you can type in it. You can, if you click more and then advanced, it's gonna pull up this box, which you'll get better at this. This is more advanced thing, so if it's over your head, just don't watch. If you need it to be longer, you can change it, make it bigger. If you want it higher, you can do it that way too. But also, you can pull it.
Okay, that's neat.
So whichever way is easier for you, you can do it
So,
that
'cause
way.
if you print it off the form, you can add it back in here, like your broker's
Right.
agreement, okay.
So if anything that's on paper that you need to put signatures in, like if you have a GAR form that they filled out some of it or something, you can upload it and then you can upload it into here. It's gonna be like a picture how this is, but if you need to add signatures to the bottom or something, add a signature, go down here, put it here, and then you assign the field.
Okay,
So you're gonna assign to whoever.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina, we need
Okay.
Angelina to sign here. You need and just know anytime you sign anything on dotloop, it's automatically times and date stamped, which is another benefit to dotloop. If you need to add a checkbox, it adds a checkbox.
So if you want to take it away, how do you remove that box? Just-
So there's little instructions right here that
Okay.
kind of show you what you can do. On here for me, it's command or shift delete. There it
Okay.
goes. I know you can't really see me clicking the buttons, but it tells you beside it, which is really handy. So this delete field, copy field, select
Okay.
multiple fields, save document. All those are right there. You'll learn how to do it as you do it more, but they're there for you, which is really
Okay.
awesome. So it kind of shows you what you need to do. So if you need to date something, you can date it. If you need to add someone's initials, if you just want to do initials instead of a whole signature, and some forms require initials at the bottom. So just make sure you go through your contracts really well. I would encourage you to go to templates at the very beginning, how we were doing, looking at them, print them all out and read them. Read them and go through them with a coach, go through them with your moms. Like your mom's here, not like your mom home. She probably doesn't know what these talk about. So, I know mine probably. So then you do the same thing with the initials as you do. You assign, and then Angelina will initial there. Yeah. So you'll make sure you save everything. And if you need to download this, you need to print it, it's right there. If you upload a PDF and it's upside down, you can rotate it to make it right side back up. So that's some of the basics. I know it's a lot. As you go through it, as you play with it, you'll learn more. You'll learn what questions that you have. You did something, didn't do something. We're here for y'all. I'm gonna try to do this class every 2 weeks, so that's always on the calendar. So that as you have more questions, as you learn what to ask, you can come back. But for now, do y'all have any other things? I know it's 2:15. I don't know if y'all have other places to be, but
I usually do my work like from midnight to 3. Can I call you then?
no, you can call the office, but I doubt anyone's gonna answer because I have
Ask for a cell number.
Once we're done,
Thank you.
you give me,
Absolutely.
can you give me access to the one, the red and the black dot link?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll look at that and see what that's about. I don't really know why that would be happening, but we'll look at it and make sure.
another question
Yeah.
about hooking up to the printers from my laptop.
Yeah.
Can you do that, or is that Felicia?
We can do it. We can look at it, and if not, then we'll get Felicia.
Okay.
But
She told me
you
she was
just-
gonna. She's like, I just haven't done it yet. I haven't had time.
Yeah, that's something that you connect the print driver to your laptop, and then
In settings, you mean?
yes, and honestly, I've never done it, so we'll look at it and try to get that done for you. It's a little more complicated with the Mac. That's why I never did it on mine at Peachtree Road. So, but we'll get it worked out for sure. Because you need to be able to print from your laptop because it's easier
Mm-hmm.
for you. But anything else about dotloop?
Nope, that was good. I needed that. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I just
Thank
had some
you.
questions because I'm always in it,
Yeah,
but
no,
that was it.
absolutely.
That was good. That clarified some things for me.
fantastic.